It comes from the top and it is dropped. Then it is reclaimed and taken back. Yeah, because this you can store about 10 days of production. So as per the requirement, it is reclaimed and taken back to the battery. Yeah.
This purely natural gas. 95% and then 2% nitrogen, which is also generated from the same gas. Yes.
This is the first time I will see urea like this. I've always seen
Yeah,
them
in the back, yeah.
when we take them to the farm.
Yes.
You need so much money to convert gas into solid.
Into solid,
$5 million you need.
But we have to, so
they say they just some kind of emotion, just
seems like we can actually see it's ready to.
So welcome to Dangote Petrochemical Limited. We are very good to see you. Good morning. Welcome to Dangote Petrochemical Limited. We welcome you to Ammonia plant. Here is Ammonia DCS in central control. We reform our natural gas. We have a series of processes which we do for our gas purification to get our hydrogen and nitrogen, which is the syngas we use for the production of ammonia. So here in the plant, the natural gas coming from the battery limit, we try to purify them, passing them through the system, which we use to run our turbine. So we have 3 compressors and the turbines in the ammonia plant. We have the process here compressor. This process here we use it to for secondary reforming in the secondary reformer. Because the nitrogen we use for the production of ammonia, we get it from the atmospheric air. So this we compress the air to run for the 4 kg pressure. Then we send it to the secondary reformer. So from there we produce our hydrogen and the nitrogen, which is our syngas. Then these gases we send them to the syngas compressor for the compression into ammonia, which is what we needed for production of urea fertilizer. So this ammonia and CO2 we channel them to urea plant over there, where they send them to the reactor to produce ammonium carbonate, further to produce urea and water. So we remove the water from the system, then the granule, these are the urea granule, we send it down into a bagging section. So, and that's what we do here. Habib said.
You know, you made it look so simple. Such a complex process. Well done. Well done. We thank you for what you are doing. We actually came to identify with the good work that this gentleman that God has blessed this country with is doing. And all of you are instrumental in the success that we see out there, even though it's not recognized, it's not acknowledged. In fact, in many occasions, we show contempt for what you are doing, which is regrettable. But you should know that there are some of us out there who appreciate what you are doing, who know that this is the right way to go. And by the special grace of God, very sooner than later, we will begin to see a change of attitude, a change of approach. And you will know that you have not been wasting your time. Actually, this is the most honorable thing anybody can do for this country. Most honorable thing.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
You are most welcome to Urea plant. As you all 3,850 metric tons per day. We can optimize it up to 4,000 metric tons per day. So both train 1 and train 2. So that's about 8,000 metric tons per day when you optimize the capacity. So here we have the synthesis section. It is categorized into synthesis section and granulation section. The synthesis section, the major raw material, the feed we got from the ammonia plant, which is the CO2 and ammonia itself. The ammonia come in liquid form, while the CO2 come in compressed form. So we optimize by compressing the gas from 0.25, 0.5 kg to about 160 kg by maintaining the process plant parameter. So from this is the high pressure synthesis section. The reactor is the major drive. That's the heart of any chemical process engineering. The reactor. That's where the urea production takes place. From the reactor, you have about 33% of urea which is being processed. Like I said, the synthesis section, we use a modern technology, which is the self-negative technology, which is of high standard. While the granulation will use a technical technology, which is a fluidized bed technology. It's also a latest technology. From here, you can see from the safety screen is a safety screen material coming from the granulator. So this safety screen, the lumps are being removed, which goes to the recycle tank. What we do in urea, we ensure that there is no flaring of any gases, or the recovery, the dissolved lumps that we're getting, it goes to the recycle tank. We also recycle it back to the system. So we ensure that safety is of high priority. The urea will produce of high quality with about barrier content of 0.8 to 0.9, with nitrogen content of about 46%, which is of high international quality. So our major ideology here is to produce urea of high quality that farmers will appreciate, and it will improve the crop yield. From here, this is a sample of the urea we produce here, which we call our white gold.
White gold.
Yeah.
I farm.
Yeah.
I go to the farm until this insecurity situation. I mean, for over 2 decades, I don't buy maize for my house, I don't buy beans, and I farm to eat and to share with my community. It's my own way of giving back to the community. In fact, in 2007, when I ran short of money to pay for my office accommodation in Abuja, I simply went home, took out some grains, sold, and paid my office rent. So I'm familiar with this, but I haven't seen it in the way that I saw it. I also haven't listened to anyone talk to me about the process that you have to go through. We just see it as a finished product.
But this is natural gas that we're flaring away.
Yeah, we just waste it.
We waste it, so you should.
Or you export it. Like a crude oil, you are exporting the natural gas. It's not adding value within the
that
country.
you are only producing urea. Just know that what you are doing is turning around the economy of this country. Because once this is fed into the system, you are turning around the lives of people. You are turning around.
Well, Nigeria used to import. Right now, we don't import anymore.
We are exporting.
Nigeria is the largest exporter in sub-Saharan Africa.
Wow.
Actually, yes. We're almost neck with Egypt, and by the next 2 years, we'll be actually we'll be the largest exporter of urea in the world, even bigger than China.
It's a good place to take a handshake from this.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate your comments.
How would you now get it?
8:30 is to be at the refinery gate.
That's what you said now.
The I said to TVs, the same I said to everybody. 8:30
Anyway, we are seeing here, Shao, okay, you are not likely to make any debates on this, but just keep coming. Huh? Filling station. So if you can see to the shade, it's still okay. You can keep coming. Not the
TVC said their system does not share.
don't show. Now, you know channels. If channels were to be here too, that's the same song they will be singing. And then they don't collect this thing. They don't. Now that they are late now, it's asking me who is here.
And they don't share.
Okay, if you're going to go help them, you make the guys come, maybe not come. They know now.
It's teaching them now.
They know.
And it's right, they'll just put their name there.
Yeah.
Say our faceless.
Which market are we
on?
But
They are behind. They too had it, you know, okay, content. They gave everybody 8:30. They are good. They are plenty. And of course, yes. The past 20, I'm telling you, it's 30.
Petroleum product testing wing and petrochemical testing wing, where we test for the profiling. In this laboratory, we have all different kind of machines which are necessary for testing oil and gas, and we have latest version of all equipment here, and most of these are sophisticated equipment.
So we are honored to receive you in a laboratory that this is a laboratory that has all equipment in one place at one time. So we are highly honored to receive you, Sars and Max. So here we have well-trained personnel. We've been trained, we all have degrees, and then we went for further trainings in assessment of all petroleum products. We start from the crude oil down to all the products, that's distillates from our crude distillation unit. Now, here is the refinery testing lab. My colleagues that will be on hand to explain some of the instruments and what we use them to test. So you're welcome, Sars and Max here. So I'll be starting with this equipment, as my colleagues will call it, small but mighty. We use it in analyzing our light distillates, that's naphtha and PMS, that's gasoline. We use it to test for the vapor pressure of these two distillates. As we all know that sulfur in any of our distillates, they combine with the oxygen in the air to form sulfur dioxide, which is hazardous to us. So the level has to be reduced. So we have to check for their level in all our distillates, both and even from the crude oil. So we check for the level, and this gives us the result in 5 minutes sharp. We can analyze, and it gives us the result in parts per million, that's milligram per liter. And then when we analyze, it gives us the result. It's easier for us to know how much level of sulfur is in our distillates. So these are our EDXRF, that's energy dispersive X-ray fluorescence. As my boss said, this is the only lab where you see everything that is highly sophisticated in the world, and you are having everything in one place at a time. Kudos to our all these machines gives us results in less than 5 minutes. So these are all auto titrators for different analysis. Then we have our mercury analyzer. This measures the level of mercury in our distillate. Because once you give the machine the sample, it picks the sample itself, analyzes, and the result comes out here. this is a centrifuge, used basically to get the level of sediment and water that is in our crude oil. So we use that in the pricing and then to know the level of water, because water in our crude oil isn't good. This for freezing points, this is a freezing point apparatus. This is used to test for the lubricity of our diesel. Lubricity, as we all know, helps us to know the friction rate of our oil with respect to our engine parts. So we need to learn to know the lubricity level, and this machine is highly sophisticated in the fact that here we run the analysis by rolling a ball, a particular ball that comes with the instrument, on our diesel oil. Then we bring it out later without contact with our fingers, then view it under this camera, which shows that everything we do in the lab cannot be adulterated or we can't tamper with the results. So when we check this, we check it through the camera here, and it automatically comes on the screen, showing us the wear scar, and then we know the level of lubricity of our diesel oil. Oil is used to test for the lubricity of our aviation turbine fuel. So that means we have different machines for lubricity of each product differently.
What about the freezing point?
Freezing point analyzer is in the other lab. Freezing point. We need to check for the freezing point of our aviation turbine fuel. That's
Because aviation, when you go up there,
Yes, I irrigation.
expanding their capacity. When you do your own, they will now talk about free trade. They will come in and kill you. Yes. So that's why countries like China, India, and co, they don't allow you to bring anything. I mean, look at it now. US, they are actually trying to do this transition of electric vehicles. When they realize that China now, they are ahead of them, they went and slapped them last 2 months with 100% duty on any EV. So that's what, yeah. No. But we have pipes here where the president himself can walk.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to try this.
I think we should, in order to put this thing in context, the visit in context, it is important to know that as Nigerian Bar Association, we are primarily concerned about how that we can use the privilege of our expertise as lawyers and the privilege of the calling that we have as lawyers to provide direction to the people of the country and also to advance the cause of the nation. These two twin responsibilities are primarily the responsibilities of every lawyer. Every lawyer you find anywhere is primarily to do these two things: give direction to the people and to advance the cause of the nation, because all of these things are a function of law. And we are the ones that are privileged to be schooled and trained and educated in the subject of law. So we should be in the forefront in giving direction within that context and also to advance the cause of the nation. And the cause of the nation must be to better the lot of the people. So wherever, conscious of these responsibilities, wherever we find any effort by anyone that feeds into the cause, that primary cause of any country, driven by people that we have elected to run the affairs of this country, we have a responsibility to identify with that cause and in our own little way advance that cause, primarily for the benefit of the people. You and I know that an effort such as this that we have witnessed is an effort that is primarily, there is not a heart that is not concerned about the people of this country or the welfare of this country that would think and put this sort of project together. If you're thinking and your motivation is not to bring prosperity to the people, of this country, there is no way you can come up with a project like this. And because we have seen that this project is meant to serve the people, better the lot of the people of this country, and create prosperity for the people of this country, we said we must come and identify with it, have an idea of what he is doing, and also support that effort. That is why, for me, going through what we saw today, I have no doubt in my mind that Alhaji Aliko Dangote deserves to be described as a freedom fighter, freedom for the people of this country from the shackles of poverty. He is an economic fighter because this efforts that we've seen today, the fertilizer plant, and also the refinery, one of the largest in the world, with the capacity that it has to supply the needs of this country, is no doubt a nationalistic project. It's a patriotic project. It's a project that will definitely advance the cause of this country. And we've come to identify with it. We've come to acknowledge the effort that he's doing in this particular regard. And to also, in doing this, call attention of government. Because there is just so much that a private investor can do. You imagine all the efforts that have been put in this place for all the equipment to be brought into this place. Roads literally had to be constructed. A port literally had to be built by Alhaji Dangote in order to ship in this monstrous and humongous equipment. Power has to be put in place. Power has to be generated for this place, for both the plant, the fertilizer plant, and the petroleum, the refinery. Water plant, the water needs of this venture has to also be provided. So you can see how capital intensive it is for one to come and invest. It is not attractive because in other climes, he wouldn't have to provide power, he wouldn't have to do water, he wouldn't have to build roads, so many other, he wouldn't have to build a port just to do this. So you can imagine he has a choice to go elsewhere, to use maybe half of what he has invested in putting up this investment here in Nigeria, but decided to do it here. How else can one demonstrate patriotism? But you see, government should be responsible for all of these infrastructures. And that is how to create enabling environment for investors to be attracted into your own clime. And that is what we should do. And that is what I'm doing right now, to call government's attention to this very audacious project, very illustrious project, something that is laudable, remarkable, and let the people of this country benefit from this heart that has motivated Alhaji Dangote to put together this very huge investment. Look at the employment opportunities that have been created. We went to a lab, the petrochemical lab that we have here is rated to be one of the best in the world. Look at the young men and women that we found in that, the average of 28 years, some of them with their doctorate degrees, working in those labs. And I was speaking with him the other time, and he said he trained about 37,000 engineers. But all of those ones that have been trained are wasted because the opportunities for them to express those expertise are not there. And so, assuming government has created businesses that would provide employment, all these ones have been, the 37,000 engineers would have been properly equipped to fit into those businesses and begin to support the economy and create production, create prosperity and wealth within the nation. I mean, if you've been following the statements that I've issued as president of the Nigerian Bar Association, I've been very categorical in calling the attention of government to take deliberate steps, conscious steps in paying attention to the issue of the economy of this country. And I'm not here to discuss what one person is doing or one person is not doing. Yes, writing a letter to government is one of the things that we could do, but we also have other forms by which we engage with government in order to draw government's attention. This is part of it, paying a visit here. Government now knows when this is made public that the Nigerian Bar Association is interested in what Dangote is doing, and that's why I'm speaking with you. I believe you also would help in disseminating this information, that we came here and that this is why we came here, and we would, in addition to what we are doing here, take steps to call government's attention to create, and when you talk about creating an enabling environment, it's all encompassing. It would include giving him, if that is the case, it would include giving him the crude that should be refined for Nigerians to benefit. That is creating the enabling environment. If there are stumbling blocks, like you said, that some international organizations are standing on the way of Dangote from fully operating or getting this refinery operational, then government must take away those stumbling blocks. So talking about creating an enabling environment, it's not just limited to one thing or writing letter. No. It's about making sure that not only Dangote, any other Nigerian or any investor at all who has come to demonstrate love for the people of this country, to make things easy, to develop the economy, to create prosperity and also wealth in the system should be supported. And that is why I said many things that he had to do in order to put these ventures in place ought not to have been done by him. For instance, the roads. For instance, power, if they are not connected to national grid. So literally, the refinery, the fertilizer plant has to, they all both have to generate power for them to run their businesses, which is not the case in other places. So that is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I cannot tell you here that this is exactly what we are going to do, but that we came here and we are doing this, we are saying this, tells you that we are ready to go all the hog to make sure that we support this laudable venture, to support the effort of Dangote, and to support developing this economy to create wealth and prosperity for our people.